Moses went up Mount Sinai to receive the covenant. After delivering the Israelites from slavery in Egypt and witnessing the power of God, Moses was called up to Mount Sinai to receive the complete covenant and law. This was the foundation for the relationship between God and his new nation. Moses was on Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. During this time, he received the 10 Commandments engraved on 2 stone tablets, along with detailed instructions for building the tabernacle and the laws of worship. The golden calf incident occurred immediately after the people received these commandments, especially the first commandment, "You shall have no other gods before me," and the second commandment, "You shall not make for yourself a carved image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth." While Moses was in the glory of God on the mountain, at the foot of the mountain, the Israelites revealed their weakness in faith and lack of patience. The people could not see Moses and also did not clearly see the concrete presence of God, apart from the cloud covering the mountaintop. They feared that their leader had died or abandoned them. The Israelites had lived for centuries under the culture of polytheism and object worship in Egypt. They were accustomed to worshiping gods with specific forms, like the bull god Apis of the Egyptians, so they could easily see and feel them. Despite having witnessed the 10 plagues and the miracle of the parting of the Red Sea, they still did not trust the invisible God and needed a visible God to lead them. Moses' delay was a great test that they failed. Fear and impatience led to an act of rebellion. The people gathered at Aaron's location, the one Moses entrusted with leadership during his absence, and demanded, "Up! Make us gods who shall go before us, for as for this Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him." Aaron should have maintained his faith in the covenant, but he yielded to the pressure of the crowd. Instead of calming them down and reminding the people about the true God, he agreed to comply with their wishes. This action immediately set the stage for the violation of the first and second commandments, shifting their devotion from the Creator to an idol made of gold, forging the false idol. The act of worshiping the golden calf unfolded in 3 main steps, starting with Aaron's compromise. Gathering the gold material. Instead of using his authority to reject the unlawful request, Aaron agreed and made a specific demand for the material. He commanded the people, "Take off the golden earrings that are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me." This was the gold that the Israelites had requested from the Egyptians before they left. The gold was given to them to serve God, but it was used instead to cast an idol. The people quickly took them off and brought the gold to Aaron. Creating the calf idol. Aaron took the gold, melted it in the fire, and then used a graving tool, or a mold, to fashion a cast metal calf, or bull calf, idol. The image of the bull calf was a familiar religious symbol in the ancient Near East, representing strength, fertility, and was often associated with deities such as the Canaanite god El or the Egyptian bull gods Apis and Nevis. When the golden calf was completed, the people shouted a declaration of worship. "This is your God, O Israel, who brought you up from the land of Egypt." They attributed the great work of deliverance by Yahweh, God, to a senseless object created by their own hands, thus directly violating the covenant. Organizing the festival of worship and debauchery. The act of casting the idol led to a public ritual of worship, which turned into collective debauchery. Aaron saw the excitement of the people and built an altar before the golden calf. To soothe his conscience or to make this act seem legitimate, Aaron declared, "Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord, Yahweh." This was an attempt to synchronize the worship of a pagan idol, the bull image, with the worship of the true God, Yahweh. This was a mixture of true religion and pagan superstition, a form of worship that was abhorrent to God. The next day, the people rose early to begin the festival. They offered burnt offerings, sacrifices completely consumed by fire and dedicated to the deity, and peace offerings, sacrifices for celebration and thanksgiving. After the rituals, the Bible records, the people sat down to eat and drink and then rose up to play. In the context of pagan worship and events like this term often referred to acts of chaos, wild dancing, and even sexual immorality associated with the worship of fertility gods. This very behavior confirmed the profound sinful nature of the event, leading to God's wrath. The wrath of God and Moses' intercession. While Moses was still receiving the law on the mountain, God reported the betrayal at the foot of the mountain. "Go down, for your people, whom you brought up out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves." God called Israel a stiff-necked people, emphasizing their stubborn and hard-to-teach nature. God expressed the intent to destroy the entire rebellious nation because his wrath had flared up, and promised to make Moses into a new great nation. Moses did not accept the offer to be made into a great nation, but instead pleaded with the Lord for the people's forgiveness, appealing to his compassion. Moses reminded God that if he destroyed the people, other nations, the Egyptians, would say that he led them out only to kill them in the mountains. He implored God to remember the promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob about a numerous offspring and the promised land. The Lord repented, concerning the disaster which he had intended to bring upon his people. Shattering the tablets of the covenant. Moses and Joshua came down the mountain, heard the confused noise, and as they approached the camp, he clearly saw the golden calf idol and the scene of wild dancing. Moses was extremely angry. His first act was to take the 2 tablets of the covenant, which God's own hand had inscribed, and smash them at the foot of the mountain. This action symbolized the fact that the Israelites had broken the covenant with God themselves, even before Moses could deliver the law to them. Moses took the golden calf that the people had worshipped and performed a humiliating destruction process. He burned it in the fire. He ground it into a fine powder. He scattered the powder on the water flowing down from the mountain. He made the Israelites drink the water containing the ashes of their God. This action not only destroyed the physical idol but also disgraced it, forcing the people to ingest the very God they had worshipped, symbolizing its uselessness and depravity. Collective purge and bloody consequence. Moses rebuked Aaron for leading the people into this terrible sin. Calling for allegiance, Moses stood at the gate of the camp and presented a life or death choice to the nation. Who is on the Lord's side? Come to me. Among all the people, only the sons of Levi rallied to Moses. They separated themselves from the general sin of the community. Moses commanded the sons of Levi, "Every man strap his sword on his side, and go to and fro from gate to gate throughout the camp, and let every man kill his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor." This was a terrible collective judgment, intended to immediately eliminate those who had actively participated in the worship and debauchery, to cleanse the camp and prevent the spread of sin. On that day, about 3,000 men were killed. The sons of Levi were consecrated, set apart, for the work of the Lord through this act of executing righteous judgment, placing loyalty to God above blood relationship. The death of 3,000 people was the terrifying price of impatience and idolatry, a cautionary lesson on the severe consequences of violating the covenant. Idolatry is a grave sin. Worshipping the golden calf was a direct violation of the first 2 commandments, demonstrating disloyalty, ingratitude, and a lack of faith in God, who had miraculously saved them. The impatience in waiting for Moses caused the people to seek a God that was visible, controllable, and aligned with their own desires, instead of trusting the invisible God. Catastrophic consequences. Collective sin leads to severe judgment, demonstrating that God's holiness and justice will not tolerate idolatry. Your support is a great motivation for me to continue making videos.